The flood of Noah wiped out all life on Earth, including the giants, but somehow they managed to come back, as told to us in the story of David and Goliath and mentioned multiple times in the book of Joshua. The Bible doesn't say exactly how they returned, but here's one strange theory. In the book of Jubilees, which is an extra-biblical text, we have the story of Canaan, Noah's grandson, who found a rock with carvings on it that had the teachings of the Watchers, or the fallen angels, the parents of the giants. Jubilees 8:1-5 paraphrased says, "And he found a writing which former generations had carved on the rock, and he read what was thereon, and he transcribed it and sinned owing to it. For it contained the teaching of the Watchers. And he wrote it down and said nothing regarding it, for he was afraid to speak to Noah about it, lest he should be angry with him on account of it." Was this teaching of the Watchers that Canaan found some type of occult magic that brought back the Watchers or the Nephilim spirits, or maybe even resurrected these giants from the dead? If you look in that time period of the Old Testament, God had a major focus on teaching people to not be part of sorcery, necromancy, or divination. We even have a similar story in the book of 1 Samuel of the witch of Endor, who King Saul went and consulted with to get in contact with his dead friend Samuel, and this witch of Endor actually conjured up the spirit of Samuel. If you read the Latin Vulgate translation of the Bible translated in the 4th century, there's a very interesting verse that stands out in relation to this, and that's Isaiah 26:14, which says, "Let not the dead live, let not the giants rise again, therefore has visited and destroyed them, and has destroyed all their memory." So maybe some type of dark magic, some teaching of the Watchers, the fallen angels, is to blame for the giants coming upon the earth a second time. And we may even see this evil incursion once again. The Brenton English Septuagint translation in Isaiah 13:3 says, "I give command, I bring them, giants are coming to fulfill my wrath, rejoicing at the same time, and insulting."
Oh my days. So they just found a giant 7-foot sword and mirror for demon slaying. Oh my diddy. Researchers in Japan were excavating an ancient Kofun burial mound where they found an enormous shield-shaped bronze mirror and a giant 7-foot iron sword. The more you dig, the more you're gonna find. A 7-foot sword? That must belong to a giant. The first major discovery came in the form of an enormous 16.4 foot long wooden coffin. Yep, definitely sounds like a giant to me. And what about this shield that had a mirror on it? Mirrors have the power to reflect images and start fires, were deeply sacred objects in ancient times. The shield even had some writing on it, which is believed to be a spell to keep evil spirits away. So yeah, 7-foot Japanese sword known as the Demon
The Book of Enoch is interesting. Wait until you hear the Book of Giants. The Book of Giants was discovered in 1947 in the Dead Sea Scrolls discovery. The manuscript is dated to the 2nd century BC at the earliest, but could be much older. The same narratives as mentioned in the Book of Enoch of the fallen angels, their corruption of mankind, and their destruction through the flood of Noah is mentioned all throughout the Book of Giants. The scroll was found deteriorating, leaving only fragments of text, but the pieces of text we do have hold incredible information. The Book of Giants describes in great detail the fallen angels corrupting the genetics of all flesh that was on the earth. It tells us specifically in one of the fragments, fragment 1Q23 1+6, 200 donkeys, 200 asses, 200 rams of the flock, 200 goats, 200 beasts of the field, from every animal, from every bird, were selected for miscegenation. Miscegenation refers to the mixing of races or species, particularly in the context of sexual intercourse. The next text that follows makes it absolutely clear that this wasn't referring to different species breeding with each other, but actual cross-species genetics involving the seed of the fallen angels themselves. It's important to notice that giants and monsters are referred to in unique, distinct references. We know from Genesis 6:4 that when humans and angels mated together, that the offspring they produced was giant humans, half human, half fallen angel. Fragment 4Q5312. They defiled, they begot giants and monsters. They begot, and behold, all the earth was corrupted. Through this, we can come to the conclusion that these fallen angels were breeding with animals, and their offspring would be half animal and half fallen angel and very large in size. This reality would make sense with all the ancient depictions of monsters and creatures. Maybe those creatures weren't figments of their imagination, but actual half-human, half-fallen angel monsters roaming the earth.
On the earth, I hope y'all know they coming back. At least don't know what's coming, all I know they bet not lack. If you think I'm lying, go search a petrified giant. It was Nephilim living on earth with Egyptians in mind. We finna get the planet back, these niggas think I lie. But when they see a big nigga come out that cave, they gon' start crying. Oh yeah, all the biggest mountains is the tree trunks of the huge trees. The branches was longer than city skyscrapers. Watch how the giants come out. If you not on low vibrations, there's no need to scream and shout. The itsy bitsy spider, it went up the water spout. Oh yeah, spider size of truck, so you don't want them to come.
So I was just driving by and there are doors in the wall. Oh my gosh, I wish I had time to freaking explore that.
Yo, so I just heard about this whole Andrew Dawson thing about this guy disappearing, getting taken out by the CIA because he was on something. I literally have goosebumps right now. I want to show you guys something. All right, so I found the coordinates of where he took the picture. I marked it here with his name so I don't forget, but it was right around the Cedar Side. You see Cedar Side here behind this star, Cedar Side Regional Park, which means that if he was on this road looking this way, which he was, it would have been over on this mountain here. So when I scroll in to this mountain, and if you guys remember what the pictures look like, you see this road here, but if you remember what the pictures looked like, there was like a building with two antennas. Look at this shit. What's that? What is this? A tall figure and the building with two antennas. What the fuck?
Andrew Dawson was just a regular TikToker that stumbled across something strange up in the mountains. It wasn't until he posted what looked like a giant that his channel blew up and started to get millions of views. Before the unexpected happened, he made a series of videos on his quest to find out what this mysterious creature was.
And it's not even there anymore, too.
I just got stopped by like some CIA agent.
So they're extracting something out of here.
I think that's the same vehicle. Hey! You might not see me post ever again. My videos weren't fake.
We only see one more video after this that shows that there's a potential military camp being set up. Sadly, this is his last, because he seems to disappear. But then his obituary is found, which says that he died on July 1st, 2022.